Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Music Scene Investigation. Rich Wildman here. Glad you're with us today. Going to be a good time. Really looking forward to it. Let me slide my knobs. No, don't.
Okay, well, moving right along now.
I just want to make it so everybody can hear everybody else. That's what I mean by that. We're glad you're here with us today. Got a great show for you. 3 new randomly selected tracks out of those submitted by indie artists all over the world are going to go before the panel today. And I'm really looking forward to what these guys have to say. Right here in my hands, I have those tracks along with another piece of paper that doesn't mean anything. But I have the tracks right here, the titles and everything. So we're going to find out what the guys think about that here in just a little bit. Now, I noticed that the flash queue is jumping up, so you might experience some kind of delay or a little jitter in the video or audio here, so please be aware of that. Hopefully that will work itself out as we go along. Now, the thing that everybody needs to remember is that on Music Scene Investigation, if you want to be a part of the broadcast, if you're an indie musician and want to have your music reviewed by our industry expert panel, all you have to do is submit your music to us by going to our website. Head over to musicsceneinvestigation.com and click on the Submit a Song button. It's very easy to do. And at that point, you'll just sign up, submit your music, and we'll hopefully draw it out of the hat as we do every week. Now then, let's meet our panelists today. Our in-house panelists are the same as always. It's Mr. Ian Husbands from over across the pond where the Olympics are going on. Ian, how are you today?
I'm dodging arrows, dodging javelins, and I get the occasional hurdler jumping over me, but besides that, I'm all right.
Aren't you like 6'12"?
All right, they're high jumpers.
Okay, I was just wanting to make sure. I've yet to see a hurdler who can get over 4 feet.
Well, I mean, there's that really tall Chinese guy that carried the flag for China. He was about 7 foot. He'd probably be all right.
He wasn't a hurdler, though.
Well, you know, maybe he's got a second sport. I don't know. I don't do the Olympics. It's rubbish, really.
Are you going to any of the events? Are you going to any of the events? Do you have any tickets for them?
What, the people's event? The people's event that the people can't actually afford?
I've noticed, I've watched some of the games. A lot of open seats there.
Yeah, apparently so. So I've heard lots of empty stadium, and all those tickets that they had to give away. Nice to see the profits rolling in.
So what is the best advice you have for your countrymen who are running this whole show that is the Olympics?
Don't do it in the middle of a recession. Everyone's pissed off.
Well, I tell you what, you've got a smile on your face, even though it may be a cynical one. We're happy to have you with us again.
Thank you very much. I've got some hit list results.
Please, let us have them.
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag this week, actually. The audience mainly agreed with us that Song 2 should go through to Song of the Week, and that was for Best Songwriting and for Best Performance. But they voted Song 1 for the Best Mix and Production, and Song 2 actually came last.
Really?
So, interesting mix there. It's nice to see people sort of voting differently, even though they still agree with us on the whole.
So, what you're saying then is Song 2, the Bosco and Peck Song of the Week, no guarantee. Majority of people like that, but the Song 1 still got some good votes as well.
Song 1 came first in Best Mix and Production, and I think, you know, if we're all to be honest, that was probably the truth. The mix and production on Song 2 last week was the bugbear for most of the panellists.
And for those who may have missed the broadcast and want to take and review it, you certainly can. You can go to musicsceneinvestigation.com. You can go to iTunes and get a copy of that previous broadcast, whether it's audio or video, and find out exactly what you missed and what everybody's talking about in that whole Be a Witness poll. Now, Tommy, over in New York, how you doing, guy? Good to see you again.
Good to be seen again, Rich. I'm doing much better. I took a little nap and recovered from this morning's show, and I'm ready and raring to listen to some music.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, I know it's been hot up in New York. You guys got a torrential rain last week. Did that come anywhere near you? I mean, this thing looked like it was horrible.
We have been very, very fortunate in Queens here in Bayside. Everywhere around us has gotten torn up and really rained down upon, and we've just had, some light rainstorms, heavy thunder, but nothing scary.
Well, I'm glad it hasn't been scary, so that's good. Glad to see everything is still intact at the Cube.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I appreciate it, Tommy. Thanks again for being with us. Our guest panelist this week is a good friend of the show. He comes around every once in a while when we can get him out of the studio. He's been in the studio. He's actually been out on the road over the last, 3 days or so. Paul Miro is with us. Paul, what's this you've been doing, man? You've been busier than a one-armed paper hanger.
Yeah, it's it doesn't slow down, as you can see by my little slanty eyes here. It's I've done 5 shows in 3 days, and it's turned me into Tom Waits. But it's just kind of been one of those runs where my schedule has allowed me to get from one of these shows to another in just about the right kind of times. There's been the odd comedy drama where the show on yesterday, I was playing a bikers festival yesterday afternoon, and I turned up and they hadn't got my name down on the door, so it took an hour to get through security. And then when I got through security, the guy who was handling the stage said, "Oh, right, yeah, you were meant to be on an hour ago."
Oh, wow.
Little things like that. But it's all, the show went well. It was great, wonderful weather and all of that. But it's just been kind of, because it's festival season and because we've had such a crappy summer over here for weather. It's been so many events cancelled or postponed or rescheduled. So everything's kind of happening at once. I've often got shows at night, especially Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. I often play shows in the evenings. But with the festivals being rescheduled, I've been able to kind of re-slot them in and be doing afternoon shows and evening shows, and then getting a couple of hours sleep and then going on to the next one.
So 3 shows, 5 days in the studio. Mm-hmm. When actually do you sleep? I mean, it's something that I actually went to for the first time in a long time. I actually went and asked the doctor about that, of saying, like, is there a kind of amount of sleep that's the minimum without you falling off the end of a cliff and losing it completely? And we went through this thing of he's making me do this diary of how much sleep do you actually get. And I haven't got time to fill out a diary, man. I'm too busy working. So I think I kind of have an okay balance. I probably get 3 or 4 hours sleep a night. It kind of works for me, but there will come a point. I think I've got till the end of October, I've not got a day off at all, and it's going to be long days. I've got a tour coming up. I've got another project going on in Ireland in September, and I've got to get my album out. There's going to be a lot of work involved in getting that finished. But I'm hoping at the end of October that I'm going to get perhaps 3 or 4 days where I can try and switch off. That's the idea. You do nothing but sleep.
I can't do that, I must admit. I was conditioned in from, I don't know whether it was Victorian parent type things, but I was always the guy who, if you were asleep past 6 a.m., there was a cup of tea as a kid slapped next to you, and this kind of guilt of waking up and thinking, well, have I got to drink that really now? Is it that time? And I've never lost that conditioning. Whatever time I generally don't get to bed much before 2 or 3, but I'm always awake before 7.
Well, let's talk.
Awake and I go.
Let's talk about the new album. I know you've been in the studio. You've been in the studio all summer long, working on the new album. I think one of the times we talked, you were looking at about this time or maybe sometime in August when you were kind of winding that down. How are things going on that now?
it's all coming together really well. I'm behind schedule purely because as an independent, you have to take work that's ancillary to your dream, if you like. And I've had quite a bit of TV stuff to write, quite a lot of stuff for radio through EMI, and I feel myself privileged that they asked me to do that. But obviously, these things are quick turnaround. I can't put them off. So I'm kind of with the recording side of it. Everything's recorded now. Mixers are about ready to go. And we're going to be doing it via Pledge, not Pledge Music, but it's going to be through paulmiro.com, my website. And it's going to be fans pledge for whatever kind of package they want, be it from MP3 downloads pre-release, be it from getting a CD eight weeks before release that's signed with bonus tracks that no one else is going to get, right the way through to fans who want to get their name on the credits. People can bid for that, and people can pledge right up to the extent of being an executive producer. That's probably going to be the most expensive thing, and there'll only be a handful of those things available. But yeah, we're looking now. Again, this is speculative, but I'm hoping for an October release. That's what I'm hoping. But the pledging's going to be definitely active within the next month.
And it's going to be at paulmiro.com, and when you get that up, people can go there and pick a package and pledge and get a copy of everything 8 weeks early. That would be awesome.
Let me let you know, Paul, that Rich does have a habit of liking to be an executive producer on people's albums. So I think if you sort of push that his way, you might see some results.
Okay.
Sorry, Rich, did I speak out of turn?
No, you might be able to talk me into it. You just never know.
Right, okay. Yeah, well, we'll discuss that then, Rich.
All right. We can do that, Paul. We'll talk about that at some point. Now, so what else you got in the works? Okay, we've got the album. We've got the tour. When's the tour start? Where are you going to be first, and where's it wind up?
Well, the tour that's not with me. That's with one of the guys out at Levelers, good friend of mine, Simon Friend, who's the second main man in a band called the Levelers. And we started on a project in February. We did a first show then. It's just been a kind of idea of Simon's for ages. And he's got this project together. It's now called Simon Friend's Seismic Survey. And there's a website up and running, which I can't remember the name of. I think it's called thesurveys.co.uk. But we're going to be touring in December. And it's all UK. I don't have a list of the venues offhand, but I know we're going to be playing between London right through to Devon. And there's going to be, I think there's a show in Norwich. There's a show in Nottingham, Bristol. But it's a UK kind of 10 to 15 day tour in December, and we're going to be doing some recording of new songs before then as well. We're going to Ireland in September to record a bunch of tracks, and that will be I think, I'm not sure yet, again I'm just kind of speaking speculatively, but it seems that the plan's going to be that this album isn't going to be for general release. It's going to be either available through our website through the duration of the tour, or only available to people who come on the tour. So it's going to be a bit of a special release for fans of Simon's and things.
It sounds like it's going to be a great thing, exclusive, album kind of thing out to the fans. I think that's going to be cool. Now, can I make a suggestion for an album title? I've been tossing this one to everybody I can to see if I can get anybody to bite on it. So I figured, I got you here. You got a new album coming out. You're working on so much stuff. Why not toss it to you? It's called Wasted Tape in a Digital World.
Wasted Tape in a Digital World. Well, there you go. I'm going to write that down. I've already copywritten it, and dated when I came up with the idea. Well, I'll write that one down. And you never know. I mean, my album's going to be called "Sometimes You Get, Sometimes You Get Got." So that's already sorted.
I remember that conversation.
Yeah. Well, there you go. See, I'm glad I remember to keep the same title.
Sometimes you get got. I like that.
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck with that. And, everything you do, I've listened to a lot of the stuff you've got going on. out on the web, on your site, as a matter of fact. And I suggest everybody go out and do that. A good bunch of tracks out there. I mean, just loving every bit of it. So, but we got to move on. We got to listen to some new stuff too.
Yeah, let's do that.
From people we've never heard of before, maybe not. You never know. But we're going to do it today. So that being said, everybody, let's take a listen to track number 1 on today's MSI. And that's song number 1, a very abrupt end on that one, but that's the way it came in, so we'll deal with it. All right, let's find out what everyone on the panel thought. Let's first of all go to Ian, find out what he thought. Ian, what do you think of track number 1?
I think my word for this is disjointed. Nothing really seemed to sit together. There was kind of a mix of genres going on here, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that in its own right, but it's the way it's done. It all seemed like there was sort of a bluesy bit of guitar, then a bit of electronica, then a bit more rocky guitar, and then a bit more electronica, and it just didn't seem to sit together as one song. I mean, the mix overall was okay. It was nothing stunning. It done a job. You could hear everything clearly, but there was no real dynamic to it. There was nothing really that was really catching my ear to make me want to listen deeper into that. I found the drums were a bit toppy, a bit too much high end there, and I felt the vocals did have a lot of reverb, but it was unnecessary. The vocals in their own right, they were very laid back. Didn't really come across with any enthusiasm from my point of view for the song. It was just meandering through. And the lyrically didn't really stick in my head. I mean, there was a few guitar tuning issues throughout it. There was a nice groove. I think it would have benefited from being slightly faster, giving it a bit more of a drive. And I liked the keyboard riff, but even that got very repetitive after a while. That needs to loosen up, be a bit more human, be a bit more natural. I think just really there's too much going on here and it's too disjointed. You need to sort of blend it together more and make the sections work together. And lift the chorus more. The chorus really didn't do anything. It was, I don't know, it was almost like a 12-bar blues song being done in electronica without any enthusiasm or blues to talk about.
All right, well, I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you very much. Let's find out what Mr. Tom Chianti thought. Tom, what do you think?
Oddly enough, I find myself agreeing with a lot of what Ian said. I really liked that piano riff. I thought that was very interesting. Bit overdone, but it was hooky. Unfortunately, it was the only real hook in the song. Vocals were a lot laid back. The track overall was a little sibilant to me, and it could have had more energy. I realized the style they're going for, but it could have had more direction, more drive, more energy. Overall, it's a harmless demo. You know, somebody might hear this and say, okay, take it back in, really work it up and come out with an outstanding track. Nothing glaringly wrong. It, like I said, it was nice. It was mellow, but a little too strong on the mellow edge for me.
All right, Tom, thank you. And let's find out what Mr. Paul Miro thought. Paul, what did you think of track number 1?
Well, I think Tommy summed it up in 2 words, harmless demo. I think there were some really interesting ideas there. Again, Tommy pointed out the little piano hook that came off in there, way too loud, and obviously because it is the hook. Lyrically and the way that delivery, that lugubrious delivery, didn't disturb me that much because I think they're trying to do that. I don't think the word's art house, but you know, bands like the Submarines, that sort of lo-fi, kind of disinterested, slacker generation sort of vibe. I can sort of imagine what they were trying to do, but they're quite away from achieving it sonically because they either don't know how to use the kit or they're very restricted with the kit that they've got. But, you know, either they need to work with a producer who enables them to bring out sonically the dynamics and the qualities that are inherently not going to work with a lot of those sounds that were used. You know, I mean, the choice of kit on that, obviously they were going for a pretty safe 80s drum machine-y kind of a sound, but you'd got an overall just nastily compressed mix that was bringing out stuff that didn't need bringing out whatsoever, like cheap reverbs and all that kind of thing. That doesn't make it retro. Using cheap kits to sound cheap doesn't make it sound retro and lo-fi. There's a lot more effort involved in that. And whilst it's never going to be a pop hit, I quite like the vibe of what they were putting together. The disjointedness didn't bother me. I think they're trying to do something interesting and go like, oh, no one would expect this, but more effort on production is required from that score. And whilst they've obviously got ideas, I think they need to work with someone who is technically capable of helping them to achieve that.
All right, I appreciate that, Paul. Thank you. Now, let me introduce that track to everyone. The name of the track is called Call Her Friend. The group is called Candy Cigarettes. Candy Cigarettes with Call Her Friend. We appreciate their sending that into Music Scene Investigation. All right, gentlemen, we have another track ready for you. So if you're ready for it, go ahead and begin that one, and we'll start it up for everyone else as well. Here is track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. That is song number 2 on today's MSI. Let's go to Tom first, find out what Tommy thought. Tommy, your thoughts on track number 2?
The first thing that comes to mind is brittle. the overall sound of it was just brittle. If the guitars were there, but I think they should have been EQ'd a little differently. Definitely could have used some background vocals. The musical interlude should have come in a little bit earlier. There really was no solo per se. They just dropped some instruments out and played, the verse chorus through. There's definitely, the chorus of the song, the hook of the song is definitely workable. I think it should be taken back in and given a critical look. And the lead singer put too much energy in at the end and not enough throughout the beginning. Let's see what else. I mean, I liked it. It was an up-tempo song, and then the one shot and two shot and three shot, and it was a little catchy. It had the beginnings of a good hook, and it just needs a little bit more work to flesh it out more. And the mix sounded tiny, like over-compressed maybe, and actually reminded me of a TV track, an instrumental, and then the vocals were added over, or several other layers were added over. It didn't sound connected completely all the way through.
All right, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. Let's find out what Mr. Paul Miro thought. Paul, what do you think of track 2 on this one?
Agree with quite a lot of what Tommy was saying again. It sounded like they'd recorded the demo with some energy instrumentally in one room, and then, as an afterthought, put some vocals on. Now, what they're aspiring to do there, to my ear, it sounds like they're in the what I call Disney punk, clean punk. They're doing that kind of Sum 41, Blink 182 thing that's fairly inoffensive, but with plenty of energy. And the first thing that struck me was it comes in, okay, forgetting that it's demo quality, that type of thing, you have to dispense with certain proper punk ethics, which would allow for all the out-of-tune vocals. Even at this stage of demoing, those vocals need to be tracked and they need to be in tune. And I understand from an attitude point of view, if they're not kind of guys over 20, which they sound like they're not, they possibly aren't that familiar with the technology requirements on the ear. But if things aren't auto-tuned in clean punk, it's going to just sound amateur. The other thing, which is the most major problem, and so many bands make this mistake, they'll come up with great riffs, and there's some really nice sort of poppy, punky riffs going on in that, and the attitude and the lyric are fine, and the chorus has got a hook, and it's got all those sort of ingredients that they've obviously sat down and thought about, and it's like, we've got this anthem, and it's brilliant, and oh shit, we're in C sharp because it sounds mean and heavy, and it's way out of my singing range, so I've got to sing the chorus an octave lower because I can't reach it. So you're instantly losing all the impact. The guy's coming in and screaming his heart out in the verses, and then your big hook that you're expecting is kind of like, dude, that's way out of my range. Maybe I can do it in the final chorus, but we'll tell you what, we'll drop it down here. Yeah, that's fine. And it's no chorus. That's just mumbling. And hooks have got to count. If you're playing riffs, start singing over them before you start writing lyrics. And then before the band's got it together and going, I can't hear this any other way. This is it. This is how it's always going to be. We're in drop D and we're C sharp. We are a semitone down and I'm dropping my E string down to a D. And this is a mean and chunky riff. And then the vocalist turns up after all that's done and goes, yeah, I got something to this. And in his head it works. And then they start singing and it's in the wrong key. That fundamentally is the worst thing for me that anybody can do. Worst mistake you can make is choose a song for a vocalist that's in the wrong key. Get it in the right key, wouldn't care so much about it being a demo. It'd have a lot more interest, a lot more excitement. There are some nice ideas on there. And I think, again, like anything within that vein in the Disney punk world, get the right producer around it. Nice little song.
All right. Appreciate that, Paul. Thank you. Ian, what are your thoughts here on track number 2?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the guys have summed it up, really. The guitars, they were muddy and fizzy. They had a real sort of fizzy top end going on there, and I think they've been layered up and layered up and layered up by the sounds of it. It sounded like there was just loads of guitars thrown in that. It's either that or they'd used so much distortion that the clarity of the guitars was lost, which was a shame because there was some really good musicianship going on here. The drumming, the bass, the guitar work was all pretty much spot on. And to be honest, when that song kicked in, I wasn't expecting a poppy punky thing. I was expecting a growly vocal to come over that, but we didn't. We got a vocal that, as Paul said, sounds like he's really struggling in that key. It sounds like he's struggling in the verses, and it's then sort of dropped right back in the choruses, and you lose that lift, you lose that contrast between that punch into the chorus. Change the key. It's the easy way forward, and get it to where you can either level things out a bit and find more energy for both, really, because he was struggling on that. And again, the vocal was placed very badly over the top of the instrumental, sounded like different reverbs, and it was just like plonked on there, really. Needs vocal layers, definitely, especially into that chorus. And do you know what? What happened with that keyboard solo, per se? I mean, what was that all about? It sounded like, right, okay, we've got a section here, there's no vocal going on, we need to put something in it. What we're going to do, I know, I've got that Casio keyboard my mum bought me for Christmas, done. Move on. It just sounds like it was pointless to me. The guitarists are obviously of a good standard. The guitar solo would have worked much, much better for the style of song. And I wanted to hear more cliches. I know that sounds silly. We talk about things being too cliched, but this has got a really anthemic feel to that chorus, and I wanted to hear the band stop, just sort of the drummer playing a backbeat and the singer giving it that chant. So in a live situation, you can actually turn that round to having the crowd singing that anthemic chorus back at you, and you can use that in a recording as well, and then so bring it right down and then slam it back in towards the end for your big finish. I wanted to hear more of that going on. It was all too up there, a little bit more dynamic, and that would have worked. It is Sum 41 and Blink 182 and -3. I made that one up because it sounds good. If they all work with numbers, it happens. So yeah, I think there is a really good song here. Change your key. Get it working well with that vocalist, clean those guitars up and that mix up, and look at the arrangement.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Ian. Thank you. And let's introduce this track and the artist to everyone. The track is called, believe this or not, it's called Meg, Who Let You Back in the House? And the band is Wrong Foot Forward. We appreciate their sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation.
You sure it's not called One Shot?
No, it's called Meg, Who Let You Back in the House? And I just thought that was amusing since that's such a long name. So anyway, we appreciate them sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. I want to remind everybody...
Stop press.
Stop the press. Hold on just a minute.
We might be able to help a viewer out here, Rich. Apparently, it seems like Sam's still having problems getting into the chat. Can we help her out?
The only thing I can tell Sam with regards to getting into the chat is if you're having problems signing into Justin TV's chat, one thing that I found that helps is to go into your cookies, either remove all your cookies or just remove those that are associated to Justin TV. And once you've done that, I had this problem a couple of weeks ago. Once I did that, everything was taken care of. I was able to log into the chat. So that's my suggestion, Sam. Take a look at the cookies and get rid of the ones for Justin TV, or just remove them all together and then try it again. All right. So I want to remind everybody, on Tuesday nights, if you happen to be out and about, you can tune in to Music Scene Investigation MSI Radio and or Butterflies Radio to catch Twitter Tuesday Live. And it's really a lot of fun. Every week they bring in an indie artist and interview these guys for a couple of hours while playing music from them and other artists from around the world. This week on the show, I got to plug it, Bosco and Peck are going to be on, and I'm sure they're going to be quite the hoot. I just wonder if they're going to bring Philly Steve. That's one thing I never know. So join Mark and Carol over at Butterflies Radio on Music Scene Investigation Radio, MSI Radio. It's going to be fun.
In all fairness, Rich, it should be your business to know if they're going to bring Philly Steve. You are actually executive producer on their album.
Yeah.
Why don't you know more about what's going on? Come on.
I had a tough enough time getting them to post a picture. I mean, you know, what can I say? All right, gentlemen, you know, I do what I can. What more can I do? Let's listen to another track here on MSI. This is track number 3 today. So let's turn it up. Here's one more for you. Track number 3 on today's MSI. There is song number 3 on today's music scene investigation. Let's head over to the guys, find out what they thought. Paul, what did you think of track number 3?
This is a difficult one because it's someone who's tried really hard to present something in a non-demo format and made the fatal mistake of making it sound more like a demo than ever by doing it too much. It's a demo with strings, and to be honest, they always make me stop listening because it's like, can you let me hear the song, please? Because you're not the producer here, and it sounds a bit kind of cheap, but layered to disguise the cheapness. Now, massive mistake that lots of people with home studios make, and they were listening to it on headphones in their own thing and going like, oh man, this sounds like an orchestra. And no, there's only one thing that sounds like an orchestra, and that's an orchestra. So don't do it. Please don't do it, because it just scares me away. And the other thing about it is, I really like the key changes into the chorus. I really like the melody in the chorus, but the lyrics and the delivery of the vocal left me thinking that this would be a song that someone else would sing a lot better. Now, I don't mean to disrespect the guy who's written the song. I don't like the lyrics in the verses because they're almost like, I won't say schoolboy poetry, but it's kind of pedestrian from a point of the whole thing is obviously trying to do an anthemic thing and a big, it's almost like one of those world beater songs, but you're singing about your wife and your kids. I don't care. Sorry, give me a big story if you're going to sing a big lyric. And the delivery of the vocal, it's the guy's really on the edge of nearly being a soul singer, nearly being a rock singer, not quite cutting it for me. That's, I'm being really blatantly honest, which is, I know that's what you want me to be.
Absolutely.
I don't hear the quality of performance, and I don't think it's anything that's going to be by production or work or whatever is going to make that a voice that the song deserves. There's things within it, like I say, the chorus, not the hook of the chorus, but the melody of the chorus, great. And I think some of those, if you leave back all I said about there being the string sounding cheaper and it all sounding, like the guitars don't sound like quality guitar sounds that's well played and everything. But if you leave that aside and say, yeah, it is a demo where the guy's trying to say what he would like it to end up sounding like, so we accept it's not going to get radio play in that format, that's all cool, but the lyrics need to change for me. I think the melody's fine, and I think the actual arrangement's fine from the point of putting it together. It just needs new words and a different singer.
All right, Paul, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now let's find out what Ian thought. Ian, track number 3.
Yeah, I have to agree with Paul on the strings. They niggled me a little bit. For the rest of the track, I mean, there was some nice bits going on. The acoustic sounds are nice. The electric sounds are nice. The drum machine loop that had been used had a nice groove to it and a nice feel to it. But those strings did spoil it a little bit for me. I mean, as far as the singer goes, I think, looking at direction he's going to go, if he has written this song purely for the fact of his wife and child, then I think he's done a very good job of writing the lyrics and the delivery as well. I think, if we're going to look at the 3 tracks tonight, I think it's probably the best delivered track he's actually tried and put some feeling into it. The performance was a tad edgy. As Paul said, it was bordering on being soul, it was bordering on being rock, and it didn't really gel in places. But I do think he put in a very good performance and was trying, if the purpose of the song is for his wife and child, if it is for commercial reasons, then yeah, it's not necessarily a lyric that's going to sell a lot of records.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that, yeah.
What's happened this week? Have all the backing singers gone on strike?
Yeah.
Has everyone noticed this? There's a distinct lack of back vocals on all these tracks. And people really
and
need to
massive
remember.
layer of everything else.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you don't have to hire in a bunch of four girls to come and sing your backing vocals. You can do it yourself. You've got your layering in whatever DAW you're using. And try and put some harmonies down, even if it's just double tracking the melody sometimes. Can bring emphasis to a point and give the track a rounder sound. I mean, I did find the vocal mix on this a bit inconsistent, and I did find the vocal mix, the EQ-wise, was sort of very high-mid. It needs a rounder sound, a fuller sound on his vocal, maybe a little less compression as well, just let him do his thing. I think there is a good song here. I mean, yeah, if we're looking at a commercial hit, this isn't going to be it. But if this is written for his wife and kid, I hope they appreciated it, because I think he's put a lot of time and effort into that. I liked the lyrics, just another face in the crowd, living under a cloud. I mean, come on, we've all been there, we all feel it. And it's something I can relate to for certain. Yeah, it's a bit cheesy. Yeah, it's a bit soppy. But, it's something that goes through all of our heads at some point in time.
All right, Ian.
Oh yeah, I think that hook was fine if the verses were different.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. The verses were a little weaker than the chorus.
All right. Yeah. Okay, gentlemen. Ian, thank you, and Tommy. Let's find out what you thought. Track number 3.
I wasn't going to say anything until Paul said it. This track would have been done and come across a lot better with a different singer. I think the singer really tried. He put his soul into it and everything, but it just didn't cut it. It was at his edge of his range and whatever. There is an awful lot of good production going on. The mix was very muddy, and I think if the mix cleared up, maybe changed part of the arrangement. I like the arrangement, don't get me wrong. And I really like the chord changes and the melody going over those chord changes was very interesting. And it just needs to really be tightened up overall. Maybe a different singer, and I agree with Ian. I guess all the background singers are at the Olympics. It definitely could have used some background, lifting it up more. Maybe change the tempo, maybe making it a little funkier, or just it's like very. It's borderline, it's this borderline good demo. It gets across an idea, but it would take a producer with a lot of imagination to really cut through everything to see that there is talent here and that it can be made into something. But like I said, melodically and arrangement-wise, it was good. Melodically, it was excellent. I thought the counter melodies, or if you will, the way it floated over it. The singer really did a good job as well as he could, but I do think it needed another singer.
All right, Tom. No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, let me introduce that track before we send it over to our panel. The track name is called Under a Cloud by the group Rumour Den. Rumour Den with Under a Cloud. We appreciate them sending the track to Music Scene Investigation, and remind you, if you want to send a track into Music Scene Investigation, head to msi.icweekly.net or musicsceneinvestigation.com. Click on the Submit a Song at the top of the page. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's very simple. We hope to see your track on the show sometime soon. Now, gentlemen, we have the task every week, and we put it to you again this week. You need to decide on a song of the week. So I'm going to let you all talk about it and make a decision.
Don't forget for everyone to make their voices known by being a witness to the show over at the Be a Witness page.
I agree with you. So we appreciate them doing that, and we appreciate you guys doing what you're doing as well. So what do you think, gentlemen?
That's a tough one this week. I think overall, despite the guy probably wanting to beat me to a pulp because I've said nasty things, I think for me it's song number 3 because it is the most complete melodically. Agree with Tommy, no problems with the melody whatsoever. Slight structural things, taking aside of it being a demo, there's a lot of really good stuff to work with in there with a complete rewrite, but I think it's the most workable song of the night if it were taken as a song as opposed to being an act. I don't know, what are we judging on? I don't know.
Well, I think from my point of view, I agree, it is number 3. We are ultimately an indie music show, and indie music to me doesn't always mean commercial. It is a good track. It has its flaws in the mix, in some of the performance, but overall, I think, as you say, it's the most complete track. It's the most melodic. It's probably the most thought out. So yeah, I've got to go with number 3 as well.
All right, Tommy?
Well, who am I to argue with such great minds as Paul and Ian? But I'll try. No, I honestly liked what went on in number 3, and the guy's going to drag me and Paul down a dark alley and beat us with bats. What do you mean I don't sing good? It's not that he didn't sing good. It's just the wrong song for him. And if he was writing this for somebody else who could kill it, I think we'd all be, ecstatic over it. And it does have the most workable format. There's a lot that can be done with it. It could be taken in vastly different directions. And even with what's just there, mixed better, the strings sound a little thinner, a little less muddy, the vocal reverb could have been better and stuff. I've already said it in the beginning, number 3.
All right, so there you have it, a unanimous decision by our panel. It is Under a Cloud by Rumour as our song of the week this week on Music Scene Investigation. Ian, Tom, thank you as always, and Paul, appreciate your being here with us as well.
Great to be back.
I tell you, with a man as busy as you are, we are hard-pressed to get you scheduled, and I certainly hope we can get you on again really soon. Let's
try and do it as soon as we possibly can.
Let's do one live from the studio in Ireland.
You'll be lucky. They've heard of the internet over there. What time will my broadband be working? Yeah, sometimes, fellas, it'll be fine. Let's have a drink.
There you go. All right. I appreciate it and want to thank everybody out in the audience as well. Remember that be a witness. You want to make sure you get your vote in. Also want to remind you to join us next Sunday right here on Music Scene Investigation. Our guest panelist for then will be Mr. Bill Evans from the Live to Play Network. Going to have another great edition of Indie Inquest on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 10:30 p.m. GMT. And we look forward to seeing you then. But remember, if you can't make it then, come back on Sunday. We'll do this all over again. 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT. It is Music Scene Investigation. Now we're going to play out with Under a Cloud from Rumour right here on MSI. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you being with us.
tries to fill the void that's in my life. I can't pretend that things are okay. Bottle it all up inside, but she'll get the blame someday for what I feel I've been denied. I'm just another face in the crowd, living under a cloud. I'm just another insomniac, papering over the cracks. One more day for dear old dad. One kid has now become two. I tell my wife everything but what I think and do. In a house full of people, I'm in a world of my own, completely surrounded, but completely alone. I'm just another face in the crowd, living under a cloud. I'm just another insomniac. I'm just another face in the crowd, living under a cloud. I'm just another insomniac, papering over the cracks, hiding the things that I like. You stole from me, give it back, give it back.